So our next story, we're going to get into something a little lighter, a little more fun, a little ha-ha for those of us that are in the know. So this comes from the wonderful Bounding Into Comics. It says, if I can get to it, Xbox, there we go, Xbox parent, I hate that big, just blankness. Xbox parent company Microsoft reportedly shutters internal DEI team. Axed employee admits such programs are no longer business critical or smart as they were in 2020, which is funny because I don't think they were ever smart. Let's take a look. It says, according to a new report, a purported shift in their business operations led Xbox parent company Microsoft to completely eliminate one of their internal diversity, equity, and inclusion teams. As revealed by Business Insider July 15th, the unspecified DEI team was let go at the beginning of the month, with Microsoft citing changing business needs as the reason for their pink slipping. At current, it is unknown exactly how many total employees will ultimately be affected by this change. While the eliminated team members were understandably unhappy with the decision, one now former team head voiced their frustrations directly to not only Microsoft's leadership, but also the thousands of employees who were also included in the announcement email chain. Decrying the company's supposed lack of investment in such DEI initiatives, the unidentified employee lamenting the apparent fact that true systems change work associated with DEI programs everywhere are no longer business critical or smart as they were in 2020. However, despite the closure of this particular team, Microsoft says they're still committed to fostering diversity and inclusion within their ranks. In a statement provided to Business Insider, Microsoft spokesperson Jeff Jones asserted our D&I commitments remain unchanged. Our focus on diversity and inclusion is unwavering, and we are holding firm on our expectations, prioritizing accountability, and continuing to focus on this work. That's funny that they have the E dropped out and he didn't mention equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, just diversity and inclusion. As noted by the economic news outlet, Microsoft is but the latest US-based tech giant to reverse course on their previously established DEI programs. Throughout 2023, both Google and Facebook began reducing their DEI investments, both internally and externally, cutting their own programs and even ending contracts with third-party consultancy agencies. Dear Lord. Public school right here, guys. In February 2024, video meeting app Zoom completely axed its internal DEI division in favor of engaging with all of our employees in service of creating a more welcoming and inclusive work environment. And though the elimination of this particular DEI team represents a seeming positive turn in the company's operations, after all, identity politics only served to sow further division, it should be noted that their elimination represents yet another massive staffing shakeup for Microsoft. As previously reported, in 2024 alone, Microsoft has already undertaken 2 rounds of video game-related layoffs. In January 2024, out of deference to shrinking profit projections for the coming year, Microsoft axed a rough total of 1,900 positions across their Activision Blizzard, Xbox, and ZeniMax studios. Then in May, the company shuttered the Bethesda subsidiary studios, Arcane Studios, and Tango Gameworks, the pair best known for the respective developments of Redfall and Hi-Fi Rush. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skill of the talented individuals at these teams or the risks they took to try new things, wrote head of Xbox Game Studios Matt Booty in an all-company memo announcing the closures. I acknowledge that these changes are also disruptive to the various support teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that bring our games to market. We are making these tough decisions to create capacity and to increase investment in other parts of our portfolio and focus on our priority games. Further, it appears that the closing of DEI team is related to the previously leaked third round of Microsoft layoffs. As previously announced by noted industry insider The Verge senior editor Tom Warren, more Xbox layoffs were set to occur on the week of July 1st through 5th. I don't think this one. Yeah, it does. We got comments. I like the comments. It was never business critical. It was never smart. This was true in 2020. It's true now. James Bond was famous because men wanted to be him and women wanted to date him. Just look at the picture for Joanna Dark. Don't know who that is and dislike. If you would either want to be her or date her now, I guess they want to give her sumo wrestling abilities now. I think this is another Joanna Dark comment that I don't know anything about. But yeah, so let's be pretty clear on this. DEI, in most cases, is not a useful tool. It is a waste of money. It is virtue signaling, and it's often led to some downfalls of companies or the quality of the works produced by companies. When we look at the video games, I'm not a big gamer, but I watch like Geeks and Gamers. I watch Talking Nerds. Those guys are great. And the quality of the games that are coming out, or the imagery that's coming out, they have to make sure they jump through so many hoops and edit so much out and adjust so many things that it really takes away from the gameplay for folks. And it's pissing a lot of gamers off. So you got that from the gamer side. So Microsoft, Xbox, all that, right? But then what does DEI do for Facebook or some of these other folks? I get having other voices in the room as a good thing. You often hear me speak about that because I'm an internationally award-winning filmmaker, and I am surrounded in my team with all kinds of diversity. My very best friend is his name is John. He's a black man. We both grew up in Macon, and not too different sides of towns necessarily. We're kind of in the same area, but different cultures, different backgrounds, and that definitely contributes to our ability to collaborate in telling stories. And I give him stuff to write, he gives me stuff to write, and we go back and look at it and analyze it, and I think, man, I never would have come up with this. And I'm assuming probably says the same thing about stuff that I work on. There is a great benefit to diversity and cultural backgrounds when it comes to art. I'm not going to argue that. When it is forced, that's where I have the problem. It is forced. You have to have X, you have to have Y, you have to have so many of this, you have to have so many of that. That's where I draw the line. I don't want to do that. You can't tell an artist they have to use a pastel when they want to use a primary color. Okay, you can't tell them, well, your movie needs more black people in it. Well, this takes place during like the Vikings and stuff. Like, there's not many black people in there. Oh, well, you don't have enough trans representation and stuff. It's just, there's no point to it. So this is true in the world of art, and gaming is the world of art. I mean, we see that both in the way that the games are designed, the way the stories are told. Let's just be real. Nobody cares that much about representation that they would rather have more representation and a crappier film, game, story, whatever. They would rather have a better quality product overall and couldn't care less what the characters look like, to be honest with you. That is my humble yet accurate opinion on DEI. I think for the most part, it is a major waste of money. It is used for virtue signaling and basically saying, I am better than you. My company has XYZ. Look at me. Look at me.
Ashley! Look at me.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.